Don't miss your girl, Cita. It's Cita's World at 1, followed by Hits and Rap City. Big baby, 'cause I'm a strong black woman. Cita! Cita, baby.
Damn right.
I'm in such a good mood. I thought I'd skip in today. You don't mind, do you? You know you ain't seen this world right, baby. See this world one more again. And that would make me your sexy cyber host, Miss Cita. You ain't know? You better ask somebody. You know you love me. Say you don't love me. You'll be lying to yourself. I love y'all too. What's up, bigger baby?
Cita's World was a music video show that aired from 1999 to 2002 with a virtual reality black character as the host named Cita. In between videos, Cita would talk to the viewers, answer viewer mail, and offer her unadulterated opinions on current events, celebrities, and more. The voice and motion of the Cita character was performed by Callie Troy, also known as Kittie KaBoom. Let's get to the interview.
Hello, this is Deborah Anderson, the BlkWmnAnimator, coming back to you with another video. And this is a video about Cita's World, where I have Kittie KaBoom, who's a voice behind Cita and stuff. So I just want to get right into it. What was your journey before Cita's World, and how did you get the role of Cita?
So that's one of my favorite stories. I didn't really have much of a journey in this business prior to Cita. I was a student. I went to Clark Atlanta University. And then after my first year, my mama said, "Oh, you playing with my money? Oh, you think this is play? Oh, is that what we're doing?" Because I didn't have any like scholarships, grants. I didn't get, I said unemployment, Lord. What is it called? You know what I'm talking about. That stuff from the government, money.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. Yeah, my mother was doing really well financially at the time. So she was like, "I can afford to pay for your college, but you're not about to play with my money. Like, that's not happening." So yeah, she said, "If I call up that school one more again and your roommates told me that you across the street at Morehouse, it's going to be me." So my hot ass was over there all the time. Anyway, the point is that I had to come home. She made me come home to DC, where I'm from. And I finished up and got a degree from University of the District of Columbia. And so while I was there, though, I made the most of my time by interning. I interned at the Washington Post, at CNN, at District Cablevision, and at BT. And so this opportunity arose actually after I had graduated and been out of school for a couple of years. And I was like, I'm going to go in here and shoot my shot. I didn't really get how the business worked, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do exactly. I just knew I had a journalism degree. I love to write, and I like to entertain and like be in front of the camera and whatever. So I guess I was calling myself a host, but I didn't really know what that meant. So I was like, all right, well, this ain't working out. Ain't nobody hiring me. I got to eat. What am I? So my thoughts, honestly, the day that I decided to walk into BT were, if this doesn't work out, I'm going to go back to school and like get a degree in, I don't know, feng shui, making furniture work, something that is clothes, fashion, whatever. The day that I walked in is the day that a young lady saw me and was like, because you got to wear your name tag when you walk in. You're Kittie, and Tracy's looking for you. And I was like, Tracy Kinzer? So it turns out Tracy and I went to UDC together. And Tracy is such a badass that she interned at BET at the same time I did, but they literally hired her from an intern to a producer.
Nice.
She skipped all the steps because they saw how amazing she was at her job and how dedicated she was to making good TV. And so gave her the job. And so the day that I walked in, just like, with my stack of resumes, like, we're going to see what sticks on the wall, because I'm not going to keep on, spinning my wheel. Because I didn't know how it worked. So later, if I'm still not on the air with my own show, I don't understand what's happening. Not even a major market for entertainment, right?
Right.
So I got my resumes. I've been told to sit still. Tracy's coming, and she comes out, and that was the day that they told her to find a host for the show called Cita's World. It was called Jam Zone back in the day. It was called Jam Zone. So they hired her to be the producer. They told her find talent. She had literally been on the phone looking for me And yeah, I showed up. So to me, that's one of my favorite stories because that can't be nothing but divinity. That's God all day. Like, oh, help, let me just put you in the position to make this happen. And that's exactly how it went down. Like literally within hours, I was signing a contract.
Nice.
Yeah, divinity. Truly. It was such a good look.
So what or who was the inspiration for the character?
Well, there wasn't one person. Like it was more of like an amalgamation of all the girls I knew, like those girls I told you about. When I get home from my, good public school education day, there would be all my homegirls, that would just, we would play jacks and double dutch and go to cheerleading practice, not cheerleading, mind you, cheerleading practice. And we were in competitions and just that whole environment growing up in DC. It's a very distinct accent. That's
I was looking in the comments when I was doing the research, and they was like, "Oh, I could tell where she's from her accent."
Yeah, and it's funny too because a lot of people. I remember when I was still, when the show was still in the air. I remember this woman tried to argue me down that Cita's accent was from New Orleans, that's where she was from, and it reminded her of home, and da da da. And I was like, I don't understand why this is an argument. I respect what you're saying, and you want to create your own character, go right ahead. But I kind of think I know where I grew up. I don't even know what New Orleans accent sounds like. Like, is this a real? Can we talk about, like, why are we talking about this? It was funny because she was adamant. She was like, "Don't tell me. Why would I lie about that? I'm not sure."
I'm the person.
Right. I'm actually the person that okay. So yeah, it's more of like all her little catchphrases and one-off one-liners and all that stuff. And the accent obviously is just growing up in DC. I grew up in all three quadrants. I never had any place in Southwest, but Southeast, Northwest, Northeast. I grew up in that area, as we say in DC.
Right.
But yeah, that's all homies. That's all the, just drawing on that experience and remembering coming home to Mount Pleasant and just hanging out with my girlfriends or whatever.
Nice. So, something that I've noticed is that Black people think just because they can relate to a character, whether it's on TV or in a movie, that no foundational skills or training went into it. So Tupac was a trained actor before he was in Juice. Brian Tyree Henry plays Paperboy on Atlanta, but he also went to Yale School of Drama. And you have your journalism degrees before playing Cita. So how were you able to combine your training with your culture to do the job as Cita, and what was the process for writing what Cita would say?
So first of all, big ups to you for not only doing your research and having comparisons, but big ups to you honestly, because the main critique that we had always gotten and continue to get was, and not all, obviously we've gotten an outpouring of support, and I cannot even begin to tell you how full my heart is from that. But obviously there are going to be naysayers. There's going to be people that, and they're allowed to not like. Like, when did it become, if you don't like something, you're a hater? Can I just not like that?
Yeah.
I can't not like. So yeah, there's a combination of both, right? There's some haters that just be like, that throw Cita away because their inclination is to assume that she's not articulate or that she isn't well versed or well read or that she doesn't have a degree. So this is obviously a character. So that means that we can create her backstory. And we did. We fleshed that out from day one. Tracy and I were very adamant about Cita having a background that involved a college degree. So she was, she never went and got her master's, but that's okay. She got her undergrad.
Right.
And, she did. She studied journalism. This is what she wanted to do, is to get into what it is that she does, which is to host a show. Now, the vernacular and the, tricks of accent or how she spoke and the cadence, the delivery, all of that was, for me, intuitive about who I was, like that, not innate, but obviously it was not, but it was what I grew up on. So it was very easy for me to get into it. And more importantly, as we've said over and over and over again, we were attempting to reach the kids. Like, it was dope that it spilled over and became like this other big thing. But initially our target audience are the children, right? The high school, junior high, maybe even elementary. So if we're trying to reach children that talk like this, walking in a room talking about, hey guys, my name's Cita, and today's lesson will be, you know what I mean? Nobody's listening to that. So we have to be relatable in such a way that they want to continue to tune in. You know, I mean, how does it make sense to reach them? And what I think is just as equally as important is that we didn't just talk about Busta Rhymes and that thick neck and whatever Joan and shit, you know, the back and forth that they used to have, or Jay-Z with the camel face and the lips and whatever as dumbass shit Cita used to say. Dumb in the sense of fun. There was always messages. You know, we always had a voting drive. We talked about the ISIS papers. We discussed racial relations in America. Like, we tackled major subject matter that required a brain and some processes to put them together in order to have an opinion. And it was based on fact. You know, oftentimes, as I'm sure you know, you get into arguments with people and they just get louder and louder. That doesn't actually increase your argument, you know?
Right.
You need to actually know what the fuck they're talking about.
Or start calling names.
Oh, God, yeah. That's so easy to do right now.
I'm like, oh, this is a kindergarten. Can we have an adult conversation? I don't want to go to kindergarten right now.
No, you're not up for that? Gotcha. I'm going to go this way. And maybe we'll reconvene. Maybe we won't. But yeah, that's that, you know, having a level head and being able to speak in a way and with the subject matter that was relatable to the people that we were trying to target. That was our only goal. And then it turned into something else. As I shared, it started at Jam Zone as a 1 hour introduction to videos. It turned into a 2 hour video show. They renamed it Cita's World. Obviously, you know, by that time we had gotten the attention of the people. And so it's a blessing that it kind of just went into that. So having a journalism degree, again, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew that in a room full of people, I could make folks laugh. I knew that when I showed up at parties, I know this sounds, I hope this don't sound like some braggadocious nonsense because that's not who I am, but just identifying, I'm being honest, like people would look forward to me showing up. I know I'm the life of the party, but there are lots of people that really are. And always dope because I felt always encouraged to crack a joke or be you know, one of the cool kids or, you know, maybe even set the trends. So journalism didn't necessarily play into my decision to say that's when they offered me the job of Cita because it was unfounded. Like we hadn't done this before. And I can tell it hasn't been done since in other capacities, but not on the level. So I don't, it wasn't a direct correlation is my point. It wasn't like, oh, I have a degree in journalism. Let me go seek out this. It just kind of in my lap as I shared with you. But I'm super glad that I do have that desire to continue to write. And I mean, I absorb anything written. Like I remember when my son was a baby boy, he always used to, when we would go out, he'd be like, Mommy, why do you have to read everything? And I'd be like, I read the worst things. Like, thank God I'm absorbing books and not crack, nigga. Like, be happy you're not a crack baby. Your mama can't like, what the hell wrong with that? You know, so
read a book. Read a book.
Get into it. So I don't think they were directly related in terms of my pursuits, but it serves me well. I'm really grateful that I decided to go that route. And it's funny too because it's almost like when people are like, I don't know what I want to do. You know, my son, my son, I love him. He'll be 22, or he is 22. And he's still like, yeah, I'm trying to figure this life thing out. And I have to like keep praying about it and taking a step back because I'm a pushy ass broad and I can't relate to that. What do you mean? Like, you don't have an inkling, nigga? Like, you have no idea. Are you what, you just gonna float like a fucking paper bag in the wind? What's happening? What are we doing? Let's get some ideas. Yes. Are we doing a gap year? Are we studying abroad? Are we what's happening? Are we volunteering with this organization? You know, so yeah, I get a little frustrated, but that's not my plight. That's not my life to live. I gotta let him do whatever he feels. I mean, he tells me all the time I'm an example for him. I don't necessarily see him adhering to my shit or to his shit. But, you know, if that's what you say, then hopefully it's not just to gas your mama. Maybe you really do feel that way. You got to let him live his life. Like, that's the hardest thing, I think, as parents. We really believe in, like, we own them because we're responsible for them. So it's hard not, like, even if you don't mean to, create, like, this ownership thought process in your mind that's all of a sudden, not only do they belong to you, but you must control them. And the irony for me with that is that his name is Khalil, which in Arabic means God's best friend, but it also I don't know if you're familiar. Khalil Gibran is one of my favorite authors, and he wrote an amazing book that I kind of tied Khalil. I mean, I didn't name him after the book, but it just kind of helped. And in the book, it's all these amazing lessons and poems and literature just about allowing people to be who they are. You have the children, you know, they're of you, but they're not yours to have. And it just helped me to really shift that paradigm and be like, and it's so hard, like right now. You know, he's like, well, I've made this decision. And I'm like, well, why did you call me? That's a big decision. He's like, because I'm 22 and that's probably what I should do. And it just takes deep breaths on my part. You know, I want very much to like be instrumental even now in his thinking process and all that. So you got to learn to let it go. I hope I answered your question. I turned to ramble.
Yeah, you did. But so something I think Black people need to realize is that in this thought of respectability politics of, you know, some people in the comments of the YouTube videos were saying, oh, this is ghetto, this is not a good representation, but I don't know if Black people realize that that is housed in white supremacy. And so I'm always defending people. I feel like Cita walked so Cardi B could run and Tiffany Haddish. So I'm always
never say those words. So thank you.
So that's what I said. So
I don't feel comfortable, but I completely,
I'm always defending Cardi B, you know, because Cardi B comments on politics, and it was like she was going to college to study political science. People think just because she talks like that she's not intelligent. And then in regards to Tiffany Haddish, if you listen to her story, you can tell that the way she acts is a defense mechanism because of all the trauma. And it's just like people keep judging her. And it's like, do you understand what she's been through?
But nobody wants to understand, right? It's so much easier to relate or want to relate or associate yourself with a character or a personality or a celebrity that you maybe aspire to or you would like to be more like. You don't even realize that this is what subconsciously makes you attracted to them. You don't want to align yourself with Cita because in your mind, and this society has told us that that's ghetto, that's ratchet, that's not acceptable, that's not how you speak, you know, the king's language and so forth. And at the end of the day, we were representative to the hilt of what we saw. Cita was indicative of her surroundings. That's how I was able to come up with the shtick of Cita, because this is what I saw on a daily basis. I was simply mimicking it.
And these are real people. Like all people should be represented.
And you know what's so funny? I'm glad you said that, because I have an ex that I remember when I met him. He's super DC. So his vernacular, his way of talking, yeah, what's up, Charlotte? Come on, you coming over here? What you about to do? Yeah, like that's a DC guy. Very like, all right, Joe, I see you. All right, I'll holler, Charlotte. Like, that's all very DC, like a little country, I guess, now that I'm hearing it out loud. I didn't realize it at home, it don't sound country at all. We associate country with like twang. But either way, my point is, this guy, girl, I used to get so turned on by his intelligence. Like, that's a huge turn on for me. But I think
sexual.
Oh, so sexy. But I think for my extra uber sexiness with him was because he did speak that way. So it's almost like, even without, I wouldn't do it intentionally, but my brain would just be like, this nigga is an idiot. When in fact, he's like sending me these articles about debates at Princeton and, you know, what's happened. We were dating when that whole thing happened where I don't remember what his crime was, but the guy got arrested and they couldn't get in his cell phone. And his iPhone refused to like open his phone, and it was a whole back and forth, and the courts got involved. It was a whole thing. And so I remember literally staying up on the phone with this cat till like 3 a.m, going back and forth. And girl, I was like, you could come get me now. Like, you feel me? Like, come scoop a sister up, bruh, because you about to get some. Like, that's my thing. Like, I love debates and intelligent conversation. It's just so it's so visceral. So that being said, obviously, if you talk like this, you know how you get down. You know what I'm saying? He spent time in the parent because he did a few things. You know what I'm saying? He might have been out there on that corner, you know. So his whole man, you know what I mean? Like all of this, you know, he gonna show up in some motherfucking 996s because that's how I think balance. My point is that he from the outside, I would get Southeast, you know, throwaway nigga all day. opens his mouth. And so I say all that to say I'm so damn long-winded that we oftentimes make those associations even without meaning to, that somehow if you speak in a certain vernacular or you're from the South, I mean, we always associate, right? As a society, if you have a twang on it, my God, you couldn't possibly be smart. You know, it's ridiculous. That just made me think of that damn movie with Reese Witherspoon. You know, she was from
when she was was it the pageant one or?
No, that's the other white girl. That's the one. That's the,
oops.
Right. No, Reese is the little blonde one that said that she became a lawyer. Remember?
Oh yeah, Legally Blonde. Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, it's a feel-good, like goofy rom-com, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, the bones of it make good sense. You can't make assumptions about who people are based on their outside shit. And I think that we try really hard to impart that to people, you know, and still bring a good message that was relatable and that people could feel like they walked away by being entertained, but also given some type of knowledge as well. Yeah, that was our goal.
So, how did it, from your perspective, because I'm interviewing Corey, so like, from your knowledge of it, how did it all work behind the scenes with the motion capture? Like, what did you have to like wear, and what did the motion capture add that like regular voice acting didn't?
Well, it literally is night and day. Just maybe not night. Okay, so
like afternoon and night.
The technical, right. Corey knows all the technical. He'll get into the funky breakdown of it all. But the reality is, since this was literally, 20 years ago, I'm still like, I just can't believe how long ago. Like, wow. Yeah. So Cita was 20 years ago, and the technology at that time had not even scratched the surface of where it is today. So I had to put on a suit, which I believe is still the case for mocap. But now they have like these itty bitty balls and different sizes. And
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, and they can track your facial expressions, like down to, your big toe lifting. Like it's very specialized and definitive. But then it was the suit with like these little clips all over my arms, all over my legs, and nothing on my face. They never tracked my facial motions. That's why you never saw her mouth open and close. It wasn't that. But then they would have these long ass wires that would come from a machine. Again, I don't know the name of the shit. Corey will tell you. And they would hook them on. So I literally couldn't go but so far as like I was on a 10 leashes attached to this apparatus. And and then they had like a specific little square on the stage that if I moved outside the square, it would just fumble and like she would just collapse and fall apart because she wasn't in that. Now you literally could be on a plane and do motion capture. I can do outfits. I can do man on the street interviews. I can, go to Africa. I can. Just the sky's the limit. I don't have. There's no tethers. Holding. So that's how that back behind the scene thing worked. I was one of the writers. I was a writer, but it's kind of hard to write a script for a person that's the show is based on them. And the voice without the person being involved in some degree. So I was one of the writers, and so we would come up with topics, and we would just kind of brainstorm. Myself, Moni Moan was one of the writers. Tracy, again, our producer, and just a team of us. And I think we had another writer that would come on and off, like some comedians. We would call them sometimes to help. But it was always the tone. We decided what to say and what topics to write about that week or to perform based on just like, I guess, what comedians do or what songwriters do or, what their environment is what we drew on. And then we would kind of exaggerate or embellish or like tie two things in together.
Right.
Remember one of our most popular shows, which is so rando, was like Kids in the Summertime. In a black person house, the kids, when you hit the ice cream truck, first thing you're doing is running to your mom or counting the quarters in your pocket or, we made it a fun, lighthearted, but we made it relatable to our people. White folks ain't even got no ice cream truck in their neighborhood. I feel bad for them. Shoot, come 6 o'clock, I'll be wanting me a Joy Pop or whatever, kind of. So that's how we decided pretty much. Unless, as I said, we tried our best to intersperse that with that affected the entire nation, things that we thought were way bigger than just Cita's neighborhood and encompassed us all. And she would put her spin on it. She would give an opinion that we hoped was well received and just delivered in such a way that they would at least be even willing to hear us out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. So for the people who knew you in real life and knew you were doing the character, what did they think? Did they ever like give you feedback or like tell you that they enjoyed it? Or because I know it was different back then where a lot of people didn't even know who you really were, right?
And you know, they worked really hard at that. The gentleman that is now he's gone. He used to be the VP of programming. He's no longer at BET, but he was very adamant that the world was not supposed to. It wasn't supposed to be revealed who I was. And I mean, you know.
And the world is so different now.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Which I'm gonna ask you about that later.
So, yeah, so very different. That climate is completely. Yeah, because at the end of the day, like I'm not here to, you know, that was then, this is now. I'm not about to badmouth Stephen Hill and get on my soapbox about that situation, but I did feel very shortchanged because at the end of the day, my counterparts or my colleagues were Tigger and were Al from Hits on the Street and Free and AJ, and they got to host all kinds of shit. You know, BT had that Spring Fling or Bling or whatever the hell that was for years. I couldn't host that. I couldn't be one of the hosts. He only would allow me to do like radio gigs, and I honestly, I just felt like it stunted her growth to some degree. You know, I just think that there was a lot more that we could have offered, but because we didn't have the technology to make like we do now, would be on the stage, then they would expect that I would do it, and they just opposed any of that. You know, they kept saying it was for my good, and you know, there's celebrities out here that might want to fight me, and that was the case from time to time. Yeah, definitely, they got their feelings. They came up to the space and was like, "What'd you say?" But overall, people were genuinely curious, and you already know I wanted to maximize the hell out of that. I would like. I didn't necessarily want to be recognized in that sense. You know, I never, ever, ever claimed that title of celebrity. So I would not be like.
But it probably could have helped in your career, at least.
It could have helped so much in my career. He really stifled my checks. And that really made me resentful. Because it was like, why is that everybody else being. And, you know, their argument would be stuff like, nobody knew who played Fred Flintstone. Nobody gives a fuck who plays Fred Flintstone, except the people in now that I'm, you know, because now I do voiceovers. I'm in that community, so I know who played Fred Flintstone for the nostalgia of it all and to study technique and whatever as a voiceover actor. But the average motherfucker don't care. So comparing apples and trucks, I don't understand what's happening right now. You know, like what does that mean? So yeah, I look forward to this time around. We are working on the reboot. I don't know if you're aware of that, but we're going to see. Corey's going to kill me if I say anything more than that. So I will leave it at that. We shall see. It is not a done deal. The ink ain't dry. Nice contract. We shall see. But if that does happen, I think this will be a glorious opportunity to address that. You know, that there's so many layers to this character. There's so much more to her than what they allowed to happen at the time. She can have you know, she can have multiple homes. She can have a fucking island in, you know, Dubai. Like the sky's the limit. And I'm really looking forward to seeing if in fact this does come to fruition, how we strategically make that like hot again, you know, because we have a built-in audience.
Yes,
I can't get over that. That my
speaking of the built-in audience, what do you think about people advocating for Cita in this time to be the host of the BET Awards during the pandemic? Like that was kind of out of nowhere. What do you think of that?
Congratulations to Jay Bazzibi on winning a Male Hip Hop Award, but don't y'all shake that spot, because coming up is a performance by Cisco, and we're gonna be paying tribute to none other than Whitney Houston, y'all, with performances by Christina Aguilera and Luther Vandross. Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to compose myself so I don't cry. I'm a huge crybaby, very much a Pisces. So I wake up, I get a text from an ex from college. So I'm like, what's up? Like, I mean, I've spoken to him since then, obviously, how else we have my number and all that. But I mean, I don't hear from this cat every day, you know. So I'm like, I wonder what he's texting me about. So I reached back out, like, what's going on? When I open the text, there is a tweet that he's attached, and he said, have you seen this? So I opened the tweet, and it said, the BET Awards are going to be virtual this year. The 2020 awards will be virtual. It's only right that they make Cita the host. So of course, like immediately it hit my heartstrings. Like that is such a sweet sentiment. And oh my gosh, how nice of him to think, you know, whatever. So I reach out to this cat, do not know this person. I just simply, you know, tweeted, retweeted, DM, whatever I did. And said, you know, I really appreciate it. Like that's a beautiful thing to share. And I, you know, I'm just appreciative. I just want you to know, thank you. He said, no, you're missing it. That's all fine and dandy, your thanks, but we're dead ass about this. This is about the movement. Like, and then I would have people DMing me, girl, talking about if you don't host it, if they don't pick you, we're boycotting. Okay, I'm done. I can die happy now. Like, my heart was so full. I'm not exaggerating. Like, and then that stood out, obviously. The first thing, that statement, and then fast forward to another girlfriend of mine took a screenshot of a Facebook post and sent it to me. This person didn't even tag me. So that touched my heart that they got my name in here. They're pulling for me. They're advocating for Cita, but they have yet to say like, Kitty, pay attention. We're doing this for you. So that in itself impressed me. I don't know if she didn't know my name. No, she knew because she put my name in there. I don't know. That on top of the fact that the one thing in her statement, in her appeal to BET, because that's what it was like, check this out, BET. Who's running this up there? We need to know. You tell me, because I'm in this business. I am a mover and a shaker. I can make some things happen. Who do I need to talk to? Because this is going down. And the statement that she made that will never leave my brain is she said, I found Kittie KaBoom on Facebook. I'm Kittie KaBoom. On the internet, her platform. So she's working. She's a working voiceover actor and a host. She needs to be doing this.
Yeah.
I don't have words because to me, that's just better than anything you could have said. We love Cita.
Because you had an impact
for the culture, but you see me out here though, Ma. You see my grind. You see my hustle. You know about my fucking business. So whether it be Cita or something else, my resume is decent. I've done a few things and I leave no stone unturned. All my friends be like, if they don't give it to you, okay, we're not about to cry over spilt milk because we have to believe that it's for your greater good. But know this, Kitty, we see you and you deserve that times 10. So that for me is what resonated more than anything else. When I couldn't stop the tears and I'm talking to my mom about it and like how this is really happening and 10,000 people have retweeted or reposted or put it in the stories or whatever, I just kept saying over and over, Mom, but because I did the work, Mom. I did the work. And she was like, you did, baby. And I did, and that's to me what put me up against anybody. My work ethic is on Beyonce, bitch. So you you can't tell me that I'm out here dropping balls because it's just not. I'm just not built like that. So if I succeed here, all grace to God, all grace and glory. But if I succeed over here, it'll still be that grace and glory. It doesn't for me have to be. I mean, obviously, Cita would be divine if it happens. All the rest of that. I mean, the opportunities, come on, that's a game changer. But I just want to be very clear. She said she out here working. Yeah, bring her on in. The man said we won't watch unless you're hosting. That is big. Give me an Emmy tomorrow. A bitch will be sliced, but it won't touch this. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's what
it's like 20 years later. 20 years later, you're getting your flowers while you're still here.
Girl,
you're getting your flowers.
Come on, that's better than it. And that's why performers get so hyped about going on tour and you know being in front of an audience. That's where that energy comes from, feeling like the people get you. I mean, obviously I'm not a singer, but I can only imagine if I was a performer, singer, rapper, whatever, and I get out there and I hold the mic out and niggas know my lyrics, that would blow my mind, you know? So that's kind of what that was for me. And so needless to say, thank God I'm not crying. That was a very humbling, extraordinary experience. And I can't even, I mean, the built-in audience, as we said, some of them are grandmas and grandpas. So not only are they bringing in their kids, they're bringing in their kids, you know? That is
Huge.
Huge.
Big.
It's pretty big. I'm pretty grateful. Yeah, I am.
So, what was it like to work at BT during a time where I feel like it was like more authentic? Was there energy or like, okay, let's move on.
Again, I am not trying to badmouth nobody, but I'll say this, and this is one of my running, this is simply bigging up other people without hopefully putting them down. BT is a great organization to work for. They did give me my very first chance, opportunity, whatever, break in the business. So I can't ever be mad at that or ungrateful for it. But I will say there's a stark difference in how they do business and how other businesses that I've worked for do business. Okay. So I was made to feel quite often at BET, and I'm not saying that this is the, you know, not the narrative, what's the word? The environment or whatever. This is the culture. The culture or whatever that's going on now there. I have not been there in 20 years. I don't know how they get down. But then I felt very much like when I came to work that I needed to go around and shake everybody's hands. Thanks for having me. Thanks for bringing. Thanks for still allowing me to be here. I'm still getting a check, right? Like I really felt very step and fetch it, which is so cool because that's our people. Right. Go figure. And then once I left and I started doing voiceovers full time and was just really blessed to be able to land these jobs at Disney and Nickelodeon. And, you know, I did Boondocks, so Sony, all of that. These are people that are coming from behind the mic when I'm leaving, giving me hugs, directors, writers, engineers, booth operators. And like, thanks for coming in today. Thanks for making it happen. You did a great job. I still work here too, right? Like, what you mean? Thank you. I thought you want to fire me? Severance pay, right? Like, thanks for coming. Did a great job. We'll be in touch. Don't call us. Like, no, we just genuinely want to thank our talent for the contributions that they've made to our production. That was foreign to me because that's not at all what I felt there. So again, no bad mouthing, no negativity. I'm not here to throw nobody under the bus. Then that's what I felt. That was my feeling every damn day. And then when I moved on, I saw that there was a different way of handling. So I am grateful to BT for kind of, you know what I mean? They gave it to me. It's almost like you grow up in the hood. So then when you moving on up and you able to, you know, create your own business and buy a multi-million-dollar house, it's like, I'm glad I came from nothing because I can appreciate this, you know? Yeah. I ain't never going to have my tooth be out of toothpaste and toilet paper. You know, that's how my mentality back then. But now I stock up. Now I'm prepared. Now I'm in a different space and time because my paradigm has shifted. I've been exposed to different, like anything else, right? Like you travel, you learn, and that's what happened for me. And I can't begin to tell you how grateful I am for them for that. Because as I said, I didn't even know that that's what I wanted to be. I didn't know it had a name as a host. And I definitely wasn't hip to what a voiceover was. So to be able to make a living doing what I absolutely now love, I have to give them the props for giving me that start. Super grateful.
So like you already mentioned this, so I don't know if I should ask this question because I was like, if you bring Cita back, what new ideas would you have for her? But you kind of alluded.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Like my question was like, my original question was if you were to bring Cita back, what new ideas would you have for her? But you kind of alluded already. And like now that we have social media, do you think it would have been cool back then to like interact with friends because you know you could or fans because you know like how social media is now, you could do a lot with interaction and like build your fan base even more.
Yes. If we had the platforms then that we had now, I don't even want to jump out there and try to like assume what might be because it's just too big of a scope. You know what I mean? That these worlds are just so different. So I don't know. I can't say with the definitive that it would be anything, but I can say it would be pretty awesome. I think it would have been amazing. Like just because that's the kind of thing that we would live for. At the end of the show, when we read those letters, those were real letters. You know, we would get letters by the freaking bag load. So people were genuinely taking the time to put pen and paper and buy a stamp and go to the mailbox and all of that. So just imagine if they could just jump on their phone and get into the mix. Are you kidding me? That would have been a pretty good conversation. And
like reading the letters on Instagram, like short form content or something, and the people, the comments.
That would have been pretty cool, I have to say. Especially if we would be able to do it in real time. Like, can you imagine like we doing an IG of the show or something? So people are asking questions and I can address them right then and there in real time. Yeah, I think that would have been pretty badass. I think we would have probably got some naysayers too, but Cita's always ready for the criticism. It ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't know who she is. She is very, very secure with herself or whatever. So I would have appreciated somebody coming in there talking mess because that would have been fun. So yeah, I can't imagine how great that would have been, but I can't see it being anything but great. Because if it got funky, you know, we can always be like, okay, we're closing that segment for today. You know, the trolls are upon us. So right along. We'll come back tomorrow because we could control that narrative completely. But yeah, I think it would have been great. I think it would have been great.
So how can people follow you? Like your website, social media handles, all that?
So I'm on Facebook as Kittie KaLee. And just for the record, I am not your regular Kitty. It's Kittie as opposed to Y. So Kittie KaBoom on IG, as you see spelled here, and then Kitty Meow on Twitter. So just put in Kitty and look for a little black girl. You'll find me.
All right, so everybody that's watching, I would like you to like so I know it's real, comment and tell me how you feel, subscribe to Seal the Deal, and sign up for post notifications to show your zeal. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Bye, guys. Thanks so much for having me, babe.
Damn.
Don't be mad. You're gonna stay around. Come on.
Cause I'm big baby. I am your sexy, gorgeous, hot to death host, Cita, bringing it like no other. And I know you like the way I dress. It's definitely to impress while I do what I do, huh? That's express. Y'all like that, right? Y'all don't be ready for me. I'm hot to death. But I bet you is ready and waiting for these blazing hot videos. And my Facebook viewer letters. That's right, baby. Nobody does it like Cita's world. So listen up. I want to talk to y'all today about how some people really just do not need to have, or better yet, raise no kids. If you can't control your children, then you shouldn't be having them. Bottom line, I'm going to tell y'all a little something. Because badass kids, oh no, see, that's on the top of my list. I have ran into one of them coming to work today, right? So you know I got a story to tell you. Youngin tried to steal my purse. I ain't got on one shoe for nothing. Okay, don't let me get started. And please don't get it twisted. Cita love the kids. But I am going to go over to Children's Hospital after I leave work to retrieve my shoe from his ass. Please believe me when I say I don't blame the kids. It ain't their fault. You know what I'm saying? I thought they parents. 7 days of work with no break. What? Do it. I love Faith. Pick up the Faith Evans Russo and that happy Russo family out there in Georgia. What's up, y'all? But you know me, Miss Cita, and this is my world, okay? I'm gonna let y'all dwell in it for a little while, because I know you want it. No. Matter of fact, you need it, because I got the videos, the letters, and the beauty. You can't beat that with a stick, big baby, and not necessarily in that order. Anywho, it's summertime and hot as hell. You know black folks don't like the heat, but we do like summer activities, okay? We get out there and do some stuff. Some of us just lose our mind around this time of year. Like, just because it's hot, we can wear whatever we want. H-E-double-L, no. I'm going to let you know just what I'm talking about, y'all. Watch the videos. I'll be back. You know how we roll, everybody, until tomorrow. Hey, look, you be good to yourself. You hear me? Bye-bye. Big ups to Hot Ink and all them folks over there. Love you, baby. Yeah. Hey, I'm a good running with it, love.